very good evening to you, and you are welcome. You're welcome to the show NKA only on Afia TV, broadcasting live from the most beautiful part of Nigeria. I'm talking about Enugu, Nigeria, on DSTV 254, Go TV 17, and Free TV 748. I am Jimai Bulama Ashebo. Once again, happy to be here. But if you watch the show and you follow it, you know I'm happiest on Friday. Because, Friday leads to the weekend. And, it just speaks for a lot of things, for me to relax, unwind, decompress, forget all my sorrows. But yes, we're already in the midweek, so I'm super excited about that. And if you're just joining us for the first time, thank you so much for opening your hearts and your homes to us. We love and appreciate you. NKA simply means art in Igbo, and all we've done is have inspiring conversations with individuals who inspire and, of course, entertain you in the course of the show. And tonight wouldn't be any different, but it's important for me to rant. You know, there are days where I rant and I share issues, one of which is the fact that ECOWAS is moving closer to having a single currency. So at the 11th ECOWAS Convergence Council meeting in Abuja, finance ministers and central bank governors discussed the path to monetary integration. One of the questions Nigerians will be asking is, what does this mean for West Africa? What does this mean for us? Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is it will boost trade, price stability, facilitate business growth. But that is not to say it is not without challenges. Looking deeply into it, you should definitely expect inflation risk, exchange rate volatility. But the one that really calls to me is this will definitely require a lot of West African countries to be politically and financially disciplined. And, if you fill in the blanks in that, you know that there are lots of them who might struggle with that. Not to call any names, but there are some West African countries who will struggle rather with being politically and financially disciplined. So go over to our social media platforms and let us know what you think on Facebook, on Instagram. Do you think this is a step in the right direction, or do you think it's simply a waste of time? I'll be introducing my guests right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to NKA only on Afia TV. Tonight, we have a man who I like to call a dynamic entrepreneur, or like a serial entrepreneur, because the day I met him, I usually give a backstory to how I meet my guests. And the day I met him in the category of one of the things he does. So, hence my surprise. I'm getting his designation and I'm getting CEO of this and CEO of that and CEO of this. I'm like, wow, you do all of this? Well, this is a man who is involved in media, entertainment, hospitality, with a passion for creativity, nightlife, and I was surprised, culinary excellence. I was expecting to have a pot or two, on the show, but joining us tonight is no other than the CEO of Blue Sky Multimedia, the CEO of KASABLANKA Club, and the CEO Bottom Pot Foodies. I have no other than the one and only Mr. Uka Friday. Good evening. It's a pleasure to have you right here with us.
Good evening.
It's when you try to breathe a sense of relief, saying, wow. It's you I'm talking about. Just in case you're not aware, I'm talking about you, and your profile is rather remarkable.
Yeah, it's actually remarkable. It's been years of efforts, hard work. A lot has gone in, to put all of this together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so first, it's nice to be here. It's nice to be in Afia TV. Part of what we do, entertainment, nightlife, and hospitality in full.
Right before we get into your journey so far, in line with celebrating women, which is something we're doing for the whole of March, and of course we're celebrating International Women's Day on Saturday, which is the 8th of March. Who would you like to send a shout out to tonight? I know that there's special people in your life, women who have set the pace for you, trailblazers, Be it your mom, your wife, your sister, your boss. I don't know if there's anyone you'd like to send a shout out to tonight.
Okay. Part of celebrating the greatest women out there, I want to do a shout out to my mom, first of all, for all the efforts, everything she went through to put us through to this stage. I also want to send a shout out to my wife, my lovely wife.
Very important.
Who has been there, taking care of my baby and putting the family together. These two figures are one of the most important figures of my life. So I have them on point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well said. All right, now let's talk about your journey so far. You've come a long way, and what you do is a testament of the fact that you were a rather industrious person and you're very business oriented. So let's talk about what you did grow up, schools you attended, and how it led you to where you are right now.
You started from Lagos.
Oh, you grew up in Lagos?
Yes, I was born and brought up in Lagos.
Where in Lagos?
Ogile.
Interesting.
See that deepest part of Legongo. Grew up in Ogile, Gomu. Went to Erigmo High School in Surulere. The distance between Erigmo and Ogile, you have to trek to school, walk down a very long distance. And while we were in school, in secondary school, this whole, you go and hold on to, I want to do medicine. You go and hold on to, I want to do...
So what did you hold on to?
Yeah, I also held on to, I want to do medicine. You read...
What inspired that love then for medicine?
While growing up, there's always this higher version of, when you become a doctor, you're going to make a lot of money, you're going to just become out there. So when we're growing up now, we'll keep reading. If it's not medicine, nothing. So even when life was trying to bend us to do something else, we said, no.
It must be medicine.
It must be medicine. Until we kept reading and putting effort to... After secondary school, so my elder brother, Pastor Francis, went to a polytechnic.
Shout out to you, Pastor Francis Uka. And your parents like the initial F, because I see Francis and I see Friday. Have you guys ever asked them, like, what inspired this?
If not that you said it, because
when I saw like Francis Friday, I'm like, okay, that's nice.
Okay, like there's a figure with F.
Yeah.
I think so, though. Maybe now that it just occurred to me, I'll ask them.
Okay, you should.
I'll ask them. So it brought down to the part where I had to move from Lagos to Enugu. Truly, actually came down to Enugu to school and got an admission in Assistant Tech. To study SLT, Science Lab Tech. Though I finished with electrical engineering.
Oh, you switched?
Yeah, I had to switch because from year one, that was when I got into event. Joined Sound House Multimedia. So, particularly we're doing lightnings, we're doing screens. So what I was doing at the time was contrary to what I was studying in school.
Got it.
So mid-year one, my brother, Pastor Francis, had to call me and say, what you're doing is not aligning. So you don't waste so much time doing this thing and it's just be useless. So I thought about it so that there's one quote he always uses for me. Why run speed when you're on the wrong lane?
Very wise man, if I do say so.
So possibly I was on a very high speed, but the lane was not the right lane. So because me, I actually felt like I've gone now, I've entered now, so do I need to go and start all over again? But if it's going to take you to start all over again, but this is what you need to do. And there's one thing I've had with my brother. I don't know, but I just wish that thing works for everybody. Do you understand? When the journey of moving into Sandhouse started, truly, because I just came back from Lagos, I've not seen how multimedia works. I've not even seen it work anywhere. But for one thing, I just had this belief that my brother was not going to lead me astray. He was not going to send me to the wrong direction. So for that, I don't know where I'm going to. I don't even know why he's actually telling me to go, learn this skill from Sandhouse. But I just believe he's going to take me somewhere. Just because I believe. That was just all it took. And me seeing the fact that the next 5, 6, 7 years, the same my brother is sitting down beside me to ask me, bro, what did you do? How did you do it? He has seen people gone through the same journey. He has seen, multiple of CEOs pass through the same journey. But this is brother is actually on a very high speed. So there was something, he has tried to interview me severally. There's something you do that's different. I said, there's nothing I did though. You see the same journey everybody's passing through. But we'll come back to that. So from Lagos to Enugu to the part where he said, okay, that he wants me to learn a skill. One day he just said it to me because he attends House on the Rock. And then my boss, Engineer Kezeto, attends House on the Rock.
Shout out to Engineer Keze.
Yeah. That my boss, I have a shout out to him because without him, he gave us the platform, he gave us the push, he gave us all we needed at the time, And then the journey started, going to school, learning a skill. It was not easy. Yeah, it wasn't easy at all. Having to get started with one thing, I remember the first thing he told me the first time I entered his parlor. He just said, well, he also has staffs working for him, so which I'm also going to join. But there's one thing he's going to tell me that in this journey, overtaking is allowed. And when he said overtaking is I'm not yet to overtake anybody. But I actually just have this belief that it's already going to head me to somewhere. So the journey started. I actually came down to Enugu with just the clothes I was wearing. Nothing else. Thinking that I was going to go back. Actually, I was coming to school until, everything's changed. I started, from one thing to another thing, learn plugins, small, the hard parts. Oh. Till, I think that year I started. I think then there were still this back Enugu State Roadblock. And there was a Soundhouse, is a company that does stage, light, sound, LED screen, and all of that. So there was this vacuum that was empty for lighting. Everybody was doing, there were a lot of people doing sound, a lot of people doing screen, a lot of people doing other things. So, but then that vacuum of lighting guy was empty. And I just noticed that, let me just go to this angle where everybody is running away from. Let me see that I'll try to fill that vacuum. And thank God to Engineer Keze, who actually gave me that platform, gave me that support, because it was a routine that you get to work for a while, at least get to know the job to an extent before you start getting some little tips beforehand, before you now start growing. So when that platform came and the opportunity came, I started to, he just came one day and said, bro, you have to sit down here. Gave me his laptop, gave me set up lights, having to learn all by yourself. And give me manuals, all kinds of manuals. And it becomes very difficult when you're going to sit down one place, you're seeing people going out to do jobs and come back, they'll pay them. And then you're sitting down and you just have to learn. This part is going to be difficult because yes, we all have bills, I'm in school. And nobody has told me that, oh, don't worry, go, we'll pay school fees for you. So we just know that whole pressure was going to come on top of me. So, but still we proceed. And then it kept going. And we are just taking each day as it comes. And I sat down, took manuals. He would go out for jobs. He would come back. He would ask me, how far, what have you learned? I said, I've learned that if I on this switch, this thing will happen. If I on this other switch, this other, I said, okay. The next day you come back again. So what have you learned? I learned that, I can do multiple lightnings and do programming. Like, okay. And this was prior to Enugu State Roadblock. So, and before that time, he would always call lighting engineers from Lagos, from Abuja, from somewhere else. So he was just believing that this person was going to fill in that gap. And fortunately, in 2-3 months, I think I was in the house for like 2 months, he just called his wife and said, you know what, really? You see this guy here, provide him with whatever he needs, food, whatever. I was in that room all by myself. I sleep, I wake up, I continue.
I must say at this point that you did enjoy, because that's Steph Cooks we're talking about. Steph Cook. So imagine you, and I wish I was in your shoes, because I'm just imagining. Just go on, because I imagine how well you were taken care of. But
yes, Mrs. Engineer Keze did a lot of job. Yeah, she was part of the impact. You know, provided me with food, water. At the point, I think at week 4, I felt sick, seriously sick.
Oh wow.
Yeah, seriously sick. I think one of the days Pastor Ed came. I'm like, what's wrong with him? You know, in fact, that was the day I actually learned water therapy. Because I took all kinds of drugs. It wasn't working. So Pastor Edna said, okay, have you tried water therapy? You drink a lot of water, having to force yourself to bring it out, you know, and all of that. I tried it. After a few minutes, I just got myself. So I don't know if I got myself that it's actually working. I mean, because I believed it was going to work.
Whichever, it just worked.
It just worked. So I know. Got myself, go back to work, and imagine prior to Roadblock, I think that was where that was the first major show, and I did lighting, and it was a test run to just see if actually. So we had days to set up. My boss was checking. Okay, let's see if we still have time to go and call somebody else. So in case you've done let work, you know. And luckily, we did the setup, did a very good lighting, had a very good show, and I was just had a deep breath, like, okay, this vacuum is now filled, and we had a great run. I think that was in 2013. That was Roadblock 2013. We came back for Roadblock 2014. You know, in between Roadblock 2013 and 2014, a lot of shows back to back. You know, I also watched the company grow. Yeah, because a lot of things we met started changing in 2014. If you ask my boss now, he'll say that this is one of his boys that actually just do copy and paste of him. Yeah, because I watched those things come. I watched the trucks, the equipment, the effort, the energy, the maintenance culture, and all of that.
You're also learning to start off your own business.
Yes, business. So it was a whole lot of journey entirely. So we now learned that okay, there is the skill and there is the business of the skill. So you could have the skill and still don't know the business.
Yes.
So it was a whole lot of journey, you know, having to sit down with clients, and then one thing I learned, the mind. The mind. There is this mind to work with clients. Yes, the mind to work with clients, the mind to take risk, all kinds of risk. Because truly, you're spending millions, you're buying equipment. Nobody promised you.
That jobs will come.
That jobs will come. Nobody has called you on the phone that, oh, you buy it, you know, we're going to give you jobs. So you're taking a lot of risk, which a lot of people have also taken. They'll buy the equipment, jobs will not come. So there's a lot of journey down the lane, which I watched him do, which I actually learned, actually see him do. I'm like, okay, so when you do this actually works. And it was a great journey down the line. Down to from 2014 to 2015 to 2016, you know, I watched him work with a lot of clients, the Ifeanyi Ubahs, the Ike Koromadus, government officials. Then we're doing all kinds of Enugu State
projects,
contracts, you know, to Port Harcourt, to Owerri, and all of that. So the journey began. Then in 2016, you know, I started getting calls personally. Oh, can you just help me do this? Then, you know, the Southeast market was still intact. Now the market has opened.
Of course.
You know, the Southeast market was still intact. There was still this hunger for more. People, you know, people want to see more. They want to experience more, and all of that. So when they watch the Lagos shows, the Abuja shows. So they see something different. So they want some. They were expecting something different from the Southeast. So where I was getting those calls, sometime in 2017, I was already one leg in, one leg out from Sandhouse because I was getting a lot of pressure. Yes, I actually did the lighting part. Somehow, I don't know the right word to use, but when you're experiencing this negative feedback from, colleagues, yeah, so a lot of pressures were coming. I already knew that, my time
It's up.
is up and I just need to take a leave. I was also discussing it with my boss that any moment from now, I was going to leave. I was going to leave to nowhere, actually.
Because there was no plan.
There was no plan, actually. I just know that when I leave first, I'll not know whether I'm going to the south or to the east or to wherever. And, the journey continued. Sometime in July 2017, I got a call somewhere in the middle of the night. That was about 12 a.m. from the SA to the governor on an event of Delta State. And then the call came that they needed somebody to do lightning. I think they usually bring someone from Lagos. So when the call came, like, oh, please, they heard I do lighting and they want me to come and do lighting. And this is just the next day. So I cannot come and do lighting for you the next day. I said, no, they have an option, no, please. So somebody else called me who gave them my number that please, that he feels that this is an opportunity. So I should see what I can make do with it. I'm like, okay. When I came, and for an event center where they already have lightings rigged, it makes it more difficult because you don't actually know what the person connected. You don't know what the person has configured. Possibly you have limited time to start all over again. So, but for me, I just saw it as an opportunity to do what I needed to do. Yeah, because most times those things come once in a while. Most times you might not even meet them again. So I just came. It was like 3 hours into the event. Got my systems, got what I needed to work with ready. So the man himself was in the hall because I don't know him, he doesn't know me. So it was his PA I was actually working with. He just sat down somewhere. So they were just hopeful. In fact, later I got to know that they didn't have this belief I was going to deliver. So they were just on the verge of anything he does, we just take and all of that. So, but he watched me work. He watched me do the things I was doing. And, considering where I was coming from, yeah, we worked with a lot of persistence, consistency, excellence. Because I was already part of that house, it was already a habit to exhibit excellence. On the part of working, and I didn't know he was watching me, do all that I did till the event started. Even while the event was on, they had a lot of artists performing. So I actually just saw somebody stood on my back, and people were just watching what I was doing. And all. So after the show, they came and said that the man is calling me, or that he wants to see me. I'm like, okay, fine. I came to see him. I'm like, sorry, what's your name? I said my name. He said, where are you from? I said, actually stay in Enugu. Like, is there somebody that's this good in Enugu? I said, yes. That everybody that is good, they also expect, that you're from Lagos or you're from Abuja. So it's like, well, okay, if I'm this good and he saw what I did with an analog board, that he will also want to see what I can do with the digital board. At that time, I've not seen digital board before. I don't know what it looked like. But I also have this belief that if I handle it, something magical was going to happen. And boom, I thought it was a joke. In 2 weeks, he called me on the phone that I need to go to a particular park, that he bought a digital board. At that time, it was almost like $4,000.
Interesting.
And he had to go and pick it up. I got it, came back home, and like, wow.
And then you had stopped working with Sunhouse at that
Yes,
point?
at that particular time, I'd already left Sunhouse. A lot of things happened down the lane.
Yeah.
I had to just leave.
It was
Once in
time.
a while, yeah, my boss would call me, boss, is it a goodbye? I said, what am I going to do now? It's not we're actually being careful so we don't shut the door. Yeah, so that we have that, access to. And that, for me, that's one of the greatest things that happened to me, because having to leave and still have that relationship intact, fully intact. So at any time I could walk into Sand House. At the moment we do businesses together, my boss would call me. Hello, young man. Please, I want you to go to so place. I want to do so thing for me. At the beginning of my startup of life, I think for the first 2 years, in fact, it got to a point that the first screens I bought, he was the first person that patronized me.
Wow. That's
Yes,
amazing.
the first screen I bought in 2018. In fact, because when I got a deal to do a screen purchase, for someone. So when that deal came, I just added some money on it, believing that it was going to sell. Yeah, as part of the risk that we take. Even when the man said, "Oh, the bill was too high," and all of that, I just left the bill like that, believing that two things: either you pay for it,
Or you won't pay for
or
it.
you let it be. Luckily I was just in the house like this. As somebody who had just left Sand House, who is not even going anywhere, and then when I just called in that, okay, how far? Tell them to send that number. I'm like, wow. And that was just it.
Your story is a rather interesting one, and it just shows it's very organic, because you have a lot of people most times seated on this couch, and when you hear their stories, it sounds like something from a fairy tale. But I like the fact that you're highlighting your challenges that you did experience along the line, and it's something I need to say right before we go on this break, and it has to do with your brother, Pastor Francis Uka. So I came to Enugu State as a rookie. I came here to serve in 2019, and I walked into a radio station then, Solid FM. While starting off and trying to learn the ropes, I remember he was the first person who gave me an opportunity to learn how to operate the console and gave me a platform to speak. I say this because going to a radio station, people are aware and like, please, we don't want you to spoil anything. Stand as a rookie, as a core member, you're told to stand in the corner. So when you stand, and one of those days, random days, he just walked into the studio and he saw me. And we started off a conversation and he was like, what's your name? I told him, he's like, what are you doing here? Service. And I could see that this is somebody that, I might have a chance with. So I said, sir, please, I'm rather interested. I would really love to learn this console because I'm one who's rather interested in learning things. And he was like, you're sure you want to learn? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, I have my program. So hustle, I can't remember, hustle intelligence, something like that. Hustle intelligence. Yeah. So, you come and be a part of it and production team. And once people at the office heard me speak, and saw the fact that, okay, this girl is actually learning one or two, they gave me a platform. But that was only possible through Pastor Francis Uka. Yeah. So, this is definitely an appreciation post to Pastor Francis Uka for most of the lifestyle you've influenced in one way or the other. We'll go for a quick break right now. When we do come back, the show and the discussion continues. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to NKA only on Afia TV. It's been such an amazing conversation with Mr. Friday Uka. And, the interesting thing about him and his brother is they do remarkable things, which is why I had to definitely send a shout out to Pastor Francis Uka. But his story is one that's not just interesting, it's one that is very inspiring. And to you watching from home and you are aspiring to become just like him or do what he does, well, it's a good time to definitely watch and listen critically, because this is someone that definitely started from the bottom and you already know where he is. He's definitely here right now. But it's still a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
It's my pleasure to be here too.
All right. Before we continue this rather interesting conversation, because I can't wait to go back to your story. There's something we do on the show where we get to appreciate our guests and make them feel loved. Studio, if you are ready, I'm definitely most ready for us to put a smile on Mr. Friday Uka's face, rather. What are you expecting? All right, there you go.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
How far back is this photo?
This is 2017. That's one of my colleagues back then in Sandhouse, Robert.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, oh God. How did you forget this?
Well,
Ah,
what year was this? And do you remember the project?
yeah, this is, I think, this is back then in Sandhouse. That's
Okay.
Mr. KP right at my back. Mr. KP, one of the engineers in Sandhouse. But this is Sisters Fellowship in Onitsha.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's Sisters Fellowship headquarters in Onitsha. Oh,
I think it's the favorite of like all the whole. I saw breaking news. I say, wow, and you're doing Nasdaq composites, and you're doing finance. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Live, born to rule. I'm like, how far back is this photo?
It's like 2014. Yes, this is 2014, if I'm not mistaken. This is 2014.
With Duncan Mighty.
Yeah, this is 2015. This is Stan doing that the campaign for Good Luck Jonathan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. These photos are far back. It's far back. Wow. Wow. This is Bayelsa. This is one of the projects in Bayelsa State.
You're very well traveled. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about your job. It takes you everywhere.
Yeah, it's gone to almost like 30 states of Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
Almost 30. Wow.
Interesting. Let's talk about this particular photo.
This particular photo, 20. Okay, this is when I was about to leave. This is still Lagos.
Oh.
We're about to leave to Enugu. I think prior to that time I was about to leave to Enugu. Wow, this is so nice.
So what we do is we take you through, the past, and we just try to reminisce on how far you've come, to remind you of how far you've come, and to let you know that we're rooting for you because the best is yet to come.
Wow. Man, they made me feel loved. They made me feel special. They made me just have a flashback that, yes, God has been faithful.
Yes, indeed he has.
And it's been a very long journey to this time.
Yes, it's been long coming.
Yeah.
So, yes, getting back to the conversation about, of course, how you did start off. And I'd like to highlight that for a little bit. A lot of people talk about starting off, but not without challenges. And I like the fact that you did highlight that you were buying equipment with no plan or no hope of having any job. What other challenge, apart from that, would you say you encountered when starting off your own business from the ground up?
When starting off, I actually encountered a lot of challenges. Number one was capital. Yeah, because I got to an extent, people could not believe that nobody gave me money, that nobody gave me a loan, nobody gave me a startup capital. It was just a part of me that had that OKZ's kind of system. And what system is that? That system that until I get it done, every other thing that comes, you need to build a wall around you first. And that wall makes it about yourself, that you need to work on yourself first before any other thing comes in between. So I was already ready for opportunities before capitals begin to come, before opportunities begin to come, because down through the lane, I observed that money has actually passed through the hands of a lot of people. But because they were not ready, there were no plans, there were nothing. So when those money came, did the money come? Yes, it did. But they were not counting those money as part of the money that came because they were not ready. So the money just slipped in and passed through. Do you understand? So part of the challenges were finance, serious finance. And because I was just ready, I already had things planned out. So when those little opportunities came, I remember one of the risks I've taken in this life. Oh. It was an ofala, Shout out to Kamani, because Kamani just introduced me to somebody who, I think they wanted to do one of Fala, somewhere around Aniri, the local government where Kekomade is from. So I was in the house like this too. I got a call that they want to do an Ofala. They needed like 5 screens. I beat them. At that time, it was around 2 million. So they paid. This was like October. The event was still in January 2018. So when that money came, actually had like 3 months. So I was asking myself, what do I do? So do I just carry the money and just send to them? I have like 3 months. Can I take the risk? So I just went into Lagos, carried their some 2 million naira, use it and buy lights. So one of the guys that you put on the screen, my very good friend Robert. So Robert saw me do that. I'm like, bro, you're taking a lot of risk. So what if this money doesn't come out? How are you sure this money is going to come out? As I don't know how the money is going to come out, though, I was ready for anything. Whether they're going to arrest me or whether anything was going to happen. But you see this opportunity, I'm just going to take it. I took it, got the light, worked through October, did some little jobs into November, into December. And that job was like 4th of January. So the only person that had screens at the time in the whole of Southeast was OKZ. So I already knew that business was not going to work. So the only option I had was to get screens from Lagos. And the Lagos guys, they just met me for the first time. They cannot trust that I'm going to pay later. So the woman was insisting that I was going to pay all the money. I think they actually charged me like 1.6 million. So my only profit inside was like 400,000. And this is me, I has packed all the whole 2 million to go and buy lights. And I don't know how I'm going to raise the money. So by December, I think I just had like 800K that I've raised from the whole light I've used the money to buy. So how do I raise the money from? I sent it to the woman, I begged. The woman said, okay, but that they are going to collect the money before they leave Enugu. I said, no wahala. Let's deliver the job first. I'll be looking for the balance. She sent her crew, they came into Enugu. We got the job delivered. They started making calls. They called the manager, as I then called the madam that have not paid balance. So, this woman called one of their family members in Enugu. They got policemen, got me arrested. Yeah. Truthfully, I didn't call any family member. Nobody knew I was arrested. Till today, I didn't call anybody on the phone. Most of the challenges I faced in life, I faced it all alone. And for some people till now, they say, oh, it's just been me. I faced a lot of business challenges, a lot. But I've actually understood that when you tell people, the highest you get is sorry, or so
it is well.
It is well. God is going to help you. So you just know that it is on you. You have to make it work. People don't care. You understand? People don't care how you make it work. Whether you're going to do anything to just make it work, as far as it is legal. Do you understand? So I just had to make plead with the policeman. Instead of taking me to the police station, it became a house arrest. Imagine me having to, spend so much money, feed the manager, feed the policeman too, so that everybody just stay around my circle and all of that. That event was on the 4th, 5th afternoon like this. I got a call. Somebody was doing an event in Colombia. I think they paid another company for screen, and suddenly the people turned it down, that they're not going to make it. And the call just came that, please, can you provide screen now in Colombia? And the Lagos guys were already on their way back, just remaining the manager. So I already figured out that, I'm still owing these people like almost like 600K at the time. So I asked the guy, so how much are you people going to charge? He said, I added the 600K on top. And told the people, they said because they were already under distress. Boom, that was how they paid the money. I carried the money like that together with 600K. So yeah.
Take your money.
That was how we went through from there. He called the Lagos guys. They started coming back to Anambra. We traveled to Anambra, met them there, delivered the job. So the guy now told the madam that this guy is reliable. It's not like he's doing any fraud and all of that. So from the woman, I even got to meet the husband.
Interesting.
Yeah, cause I actually know what the husband did for me. My Chinese contacts now, where I buy screens from, we had one of the conferences in 2018. Yeah, in Lagos. I flew to Lagos, met him. He took me to one of the big names. Actually told them because I could remember, he was pleading with them one after the other that this is my boy. You need to help him. Actually introduced me to Mr. Sam, who has been one of my, pillar in the journey. He's a Chinese too. So told him that I wanted to help him. I could remember those days. I remember those sections, where I don't know why he was doing that, but back to back and back to back, how he was introducing me to people, how he wants them to really help me. So for me, I was saying that like this is favor. I don't know where this.
Some people
favor
say grace. Some people say it's favor.
So it was just coming. So everything was just coming back to back. And how I even came out of that part too. And because I've paid them, so now the lights belong to me. I started again. So with Johnny's, renting the light little by little. Even when I got the opportunity to work with Delta State, at the time I was now working with Delta State government, coming to do lightings for them from 2018 into 2019. And my breakthrough came in 2019. 2019, a lot happened. A lot. In fact, it was just like, it was difficult for me to believe that I didn't do ritual.
Oh, wow.
Because I actually need to tell myself that something, it was just coming back to back. In 2019, I bought my first major screen. In 2019, I bought my first stage. In 2019, I bought my first car. In 2019, so a lot of things just happened in 2019. In fact, rumors began to come that I've started doing rituals. Some people said I started doing Yahoo. Some people said I started doing a lot of things. And it's only me that knows that it's just God, that it just kept coming. In fact, somebody even asked a question to my friend that he doesn't know what Friday is doing now. That not the Friday na gozo. You understand? The guy just replied that even if it is Ogu, Friday na go,
But now, in line with this breakthrough, when did you decide that you were going to diversify? Because we talk about businesses, and when we talk about business, we talk about diversifying, and investing in a whole lot of things. So you own a nightclub, you own like a food business. What inspired you to go into those industries, and why?
Okay, it all started like this. Why I was doing multimedia, coming to do stage light, sound, and screen. I started working with DJ Funky. Yeah, shout out to DJ Funky. DJ Funky actually cannot put all my stories together without involving DJ Funky. He was part of my story. He gave me a lot of platforms. I remember at the time he was still in ballroom. He does nightclub, and I just do blue sky. So I could come to ballroom, set up lights, stage light, sound, screen. I began to get close to him. So I got an opportunity. One of the times, someone wanted to build a club in Asaba. And then the person said that he wants to build a club. Usually, I could just do club light installations, maybe screen installation. So the man said he wants somebody that will build it from scratch till finish. And DJ Funky recommended me that, trust this person can deliver. I have not been nightclub before. I don't know how they build nightclub. I don't know if I'm going to start off from. So it just came to my head. The only thing I did was do an emergency flight to Lagos. Called one of my friends that works in one of the clubs in Lagos, came to Lagos, went to DNA, went to some of the clubs at the time. And the man thought I was in Asaba, because this is me and him in Asaba. Before Vium, I was already in Lagos, and all of that. Went to some clubs, saw some design, did some videos, took some pictures, came back to Asaba and showed him some of, the things I feel I can do. And the man gave me the opportunity, like, okay, what will this one cost? So building a club for the man, and then setting it up. I involved some of, the professionals too. I also got to know from DJ Funky and got those people together, and we put up something that came out good and perfect. So down the lane, I got to meet Asama Ibiza. Asama Ibiza is one of the chairpersons of Obi Kubana. You know, they work hand to hand. So, getting to know Asama, you know, brought me in, you know, taught me how nightlife.
The business of nightlife.
Yeah, the business of nightlife. One of the things he would always say that 5% of 100 million is better than 100% of nothing. So when you made that statement, I was trying to understand. So you got to make me understand that most of these people are people who are business owners in percentage, not necessarily just owners.
100%.
So I began to learn too. So, you know, just that whole putting up of that business, it taught me that you could do businesses with other people. Do you understand? Come together,
collaborate,
do partnerships. So part of what I learned from him too, you know, putting that life together. He gave me platforms, you know, how they sell drinks, how they make money, the nightlife entertainment entirely. So this question you asked me, some other people have asked me too. You know, some other people, they'll come to me, how did this motivation come about? How I said,
why nightlife?
I just saw it. Okay. I just got into it, and just after building that one, I think I built one other one too in Ogwashuku, and you know, some other ones too. So I just felt like, is it time? Can I put up something? I actually do not know where it was heading to, you know, really. And at the time, I just told myself, okay, let me go back to Abakaliki. Let me see if I can put up something.
I took another risk.
And I took another risk, truthfully. I
mean, it's clear that your life's journey has been all about risk-taking. And the beautiful thing about it is it definitely paid off.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate all you've gone through and so much more. But one final break. When we do come back, we will be moving on to the game segment. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to NKA. I'm sure you were enjoying that conversation as much as I was. And it felt like, you know, there's still some things about his life's journey that we have not talked about. But of course, we'll look towards an NKA special where we can have an extended time to delve into the man behind the business. And of course, all he's learned, because there's still some things, a lot of things we can definitely learn from the risk that he took and how he was able to pay off at the end. But tonight, we'll definitely stop at this point. But it's been such a pleasure having you right here. In the course of the conversation, we never got to ask you what you do for fun. So I like to ask, you own a nightclub, you own food business, and I mean, you're into multimedia. What do you do for fun?
What exactly do I do for fun?
That's an interesting question. For someone who is involved in the business of making people have fun, of creating fun. So,
what exactly do I do for fun? Well, for me, just play games.
That's your idea of fun?
Yes. If I'm not doing business, if I'm not doing anything else, I just take a little time to play game and just having to cool off a little. But then the truth is that 90% of my life
it's work.
Is this work.
Wow. Well, we're going to try something tonight. So I'm going to give you two options. This is a game segment. It's very simple. Since you play games, and we can't get you to play games right now, so we'll give you the options of either singing or rapping. I'm trying to go into your younger days and what you used to groove to and what you used to enjoy. But, I mean, the choice is yours. Would you rather sing the song you love or would you rather rap to it?
Oh. I said it that if I'm going to set me up in this place.
No, we don't do such. It's just a very simple question. We're ready when you are.
I'll just singing, but the problem now is the song I'm going to sing.
All right. Let's think about it. Or should we give you a song to sing? You might not know the song we'll give.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I'm trying to just get a song.
What genre do you enjoy listening to?
What?
Genre of music? Is it rock? Is it pop? Is it Christian? Is it R&B?
Christian mostly because I do two things with it. Trying to get out time to worship God.
Of course.
Yeah, so do more of Christian so that while I walk, I could sing, I could praise God, I could worship God at the same time while I fix it into work.
All right, go ahead.
Oh.
It's your exclamation for me. It feels like you're getting into the spirit, so we'll just let you.
You are God from beginning to the end. There is no place for argument. You are God all by yourself.
It's okay, Mr. Friday. You know, the beautiful thing about my guest of yesterday and tonight is you people are into praise and worship, and it shows. She sang a worship song and you are singing another worship song, but of course, we do appreciate the time that we had here. We wish we had more time to delve into so much more, but I'm sure very soon we'll definitely have a special to delve into your life, your business, and how far the journey has been. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We do appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, on that note, we say goodbye. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official, and do well to keep a date with the beautiful, amazing Grace Ajayi for news tonight only on Afia TV. I remain Jummai Bulama Ashebu saying good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.